What's going on, everybody? I got my tow pig here that we had a couple little projects to do. Ended up being a great big giant project. But what we did was we got the jambs all prepped because I'm hanging power doors on this truck. It used to have crank windows and all that kind of stuff, and I'm just too fat to lean over and get the other side, so we're putting power windows on it. That turned into a pretty big job. We pulled the dash. We took all the wiring out of a '96 Suburban to put in here, and I just can't skip something. If there's stuff to be done while I'm doing something else, I'll do it. Like this truck, we're putting all new hinge pins and bushings in it, even though it doesn't need them. This is your hinge pin. This is what your spring and your door prop when you open the door, so your door stays open, rolls on that. They were both bent, so we're redoing them. The pins and bushings for the hinges weren't too bad, but they were showing some wear, and it's like $30 to do 4 doors, so we might as well do it. Well, we've pulled the dash out. While the dash is out, we took the heater box out because although the AC worked great, if you remember when I first got the truck, we redid a lot of the AC system, but it never really blew really strong. So once we got it out, we found out why. It's because somebody else had been in there and done something and they busted stuff all up. So we're fixing that. I got a AC evaporator and a heater core coming. I hate it when people say heater coil. It's not a coil, it's a core, heater core. So anyway, we're gonna get this painted up. I've got some paint mixed up here in the gun. It's just a PPG base coat, clear coat, 1-to-1. We put that on there, let it flash, put another coat, and then we'll mix up some clear. But along the rockers, it didn't have any rust, but it had, just from 20 years of the door closing, it was marked up on the bottom there. So we took care of that, put some high build primer on, scuffed it off, and we're good to go. So I'm going to get these edges done. Tomorrow we got a couple of motors to pick up for 2 other jobs. So we'll get them here, and that'll give the truck time to sit and cure, and it's going to cure overnight. It'll be fine. But you got to be really careful to, you want to cover the entire thing. Overspray goes everywhere. So, you know, I'm not concerned about some of the cars we got laying around here because we're going to be painting them all anyway, so it doesn't much matter. But as far as the truck itself, don't want any signs of overspray anywhere, so we, you know, tape and plastic, a whole bunch of it. So I've already cleaned it with a pre-cleaner. I'm going to tack it off, and we'll get some coverage where the primer is, and then we'll put a couple of coats over everything and then prime it. I'm going to show you some of the stuff also that I did with the dashboard. Matt's been huge on this. I know it's not his favorite thing in the world to do, wiring and whatnot, but we're getting it done. And it's in the way. I got stuff to do, and this was a small little thing that we're going to do to this truck. One thing led to another, and if you're going to be there, I don't want to have to take things apart a second time. So it's getting the cowl hood, it's getting the new fenders, it's getting the leather seats, it's getting the carpet, it's getting the new headliner, it's getting the big stereo. Everything's going in. I ordered an 06 center console for it. Just a lot of stuff. This is going to be a really, really nice truck. And it'll be around for a while. So I'm going to put you on time lapse. Go get my tack rag, we'll go through this, tack it off real quick, and like I said, a couple quick coats of paint and then some clear, and then I'm going home. So we'll be with you in a minute. All right, well, I can't figure out how to get the camera on time lapse because it's not my thing, but we'll show you in real time. If Joe wants to slow it down, that's cool. But anyway, take your tack rag. I've used this a couple times, but like I said, put it in a Ziploc bag. You can reuse it a few times. They're not real expensive, but it's a very important step. And when you're doing the tack rag, you want to just go in one direction and try not to press down because it's kind of sticky. And the thing about it is the stuff that makes it sticky, if you push too hard, it's going to show up in your paint. So you don't want to do that. Door jambs, not super important. It's funny, every car I've ever painted, the door jambs always come out gorgeous no matter what you do. But just any kind of residual flakes off the paper towels or anything like that that you use the pre-clean on, you want to make sure that's all off of there. It's a good time to, when you're going over it, to see, make sure you got your tape all stuck on there good, because paint will go inside that plastic like you read about. So we'll get that tacked off. I'm going to wait to do the other side because Wear a respirator. I tell you stories about not wearing a respirator. I used to do this all the time with no respirator. Anybody that tells you they do it without a respirator is an idiot, because it will kill you quickly. So, and I already can't breathe, so there's that. Okay, so there's one quick coat. You may have heard this called by a bunch of different names. There's jamming, there's edging, there's whatever. We are eventually going to paint this whole truck, but for the purposes of doing this, I need to hang doors on this truck now, so you don't want to try and do this after you put the doors on, because you end up, it doesn't look as good. So we'll get a little paint on there, let that tack up some, come back in about 20 minutes. Another coat, get the bottom of the rockers, again where the primer was, because you can see that a little bit. And that was just one small quick coat of paint. It's just something to get it to tack up. We'll hit it back here in about 20 minutes. We'll see you then. Okay, so it's now approaching 10 o'clock at night on a Monday or Tuesday or whatever day it is. I don't even know anymore. Probably Tuesday. I don't know. But anyway, we got all our base coat on. I didn't show you the second coat just because it'd be kind of redundant and probably boring for you to see me put another coat of the same thing on. Basically what you want to do with your base coat is just get a nice even coat on the car, not shiny. That's, if it's shiny you put it on too heavy, or it's not cured or dried yet. We got everything done. We're going to go ahead and put clear on it. Now, clear is something, when I learned how to paint, the guy that taught me how to paint said, you put the clear on how you want it to look. Okay, a lot of people are like, oh, put a tack coat on and do this and do that. No, I put it right to the point, and that's something that you'll have to learn as you're doing it, where it's going to run, where it isn't going to run. You got temperatures, you got the ambient temperature in the building, you got your different temperature ranges of activator. Once you learn all that stuff, you pretty much know where you got your pressures and to put it on how you want it to look. Edging like this, jams, something, 2 coats, that's all. Get one good coat on there, wait about 20 minutes for it to flash, put another coat on, and go home. And that's about how you want to do it. So I'm going to get started putting the clear on again with the respirator. Wear it because Stuff ain't good for you. Oh, and I tacked it off. You want to tack it off after your final coat of base, and you make sure it's flashed and dry. You don't want to be tacking your base coat off when it's still wet, because you're going to drag the tack coat through it, ruin your base coat. So let it dry. Go watch TV, have a beer, do whatever, and tack it all off. And now we'll put some clear on it. Okay, so once you put your clear on, you can look at it from different angles. Catch the light against it like this, and make sure you don't have any dry spots. If you do, you can, your first coat anyway, you can dust it in there and make up for that. Your second coat should smooth out real nice after this. We just gotta wait for it to set up, and it's a little chilly, so it's probably not gonna happen real fast. So I'll go watch some TV, and I'll be back. Okay, that's about it. Didn't bother you with the second coat of clear either, because it's basically the same thing as what I did before, but I'm gonna take the camera off the tripod there, and I want to walk you around and show you some shiny. So hang on. Okay, let's have a close-up look at some of this. No runs, no drips, no errors. Everything looks good, nice and shiny. And you see, sorry about that. I shut the camera off for a second. as you can see down here, what I was trying to show you, I've taken the bushings out, I've taken your door jamb switches out, I've taken the rubber that your wires go through out. It just gets things out of your way. It makes for a much cleaner job. I did leave the door jamb, the strikers in, simply because I don't want to go through the hassle of trying to align these doors. So it's going to be fine. I taped them up real good. But there you have it. It's it's my old 20-year-old tow pig, and we're just trying to get it cleaned up a little bit so it looks good. Let me take you over and show you the other side. See, just as nice, just as shiny. It's pretty much ready to put some door parts on. Another thing about this plastic, I know it's hard to believe, but the plastic says on it, paint this side. There's a reason. Paint will cling to the plastic, but the side that goes down towards the car is not so clingy, because if there's any water on the car, any dampness at all, that plastic's going to stick to it. So somehow it's magically treated with some substance that probably fell from outer space or something. But if you look at it, I've got to teach Matt a little bit more. When you put the plastic on, you have to do it where it says paint this side. You see, when you go by it again, it's going to blow some flakes off. Now, luckily, we didn't get any to land in the paint, and they're door jambs, so it doesn't much matter anyway. But I'll go over that with him and tell him, it's no big deal. It's just old tow pig. But there you go, nice and clean, kind of shiny. We'll get some doors on there, get the interior finished up, and we're good to go. So we'll catch you tomorrow.